Welcome to today's 5 Good Minutes, considering the season of Advent with Kurt Bjorklund.
Today we begin on 5 Good Minutes, a journey through Advent. And so for the next few weeks, we'll consider hope and peace and joy and love, the traditional themes of Advent. And I didn't grow up in a liturgical church context, and so I'm not overly familiar with the candles and the pageantry around the different aspects of Advent, but I find the idea of Advent still a beautiful idea, and that is living with a sense of anticipation and build up to Christmas. And certainly when you're a kid, your anticipation for Christmas is gifts, and even as you age, your anticipation is often around family and dinners and giving of gifts, maybe instead of giving of gifts. But anticipation is often still around family. And what Advent is designed to do is to help us have a spiritually attuned anticipation for what Christmas is all about. And there are a lot of ways to do this. Churches have traditionally, again, lit candles. But over the next few weeks, we're just going to take one of these themes each week and talk about it. And today I want to talk about the idea of hope, and especially how hope shows up in darkness. Certainly our world today feels dark. I think it's true always, but it would be hard to not see or understand where darkness is and to say, why is there hope? How does Jesus' birth some 2,000 years ago bring hope today any more than it did last year or the year before? In John 1:5, there's a verse that says, "The light shines in darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." And the immediate context is saying that Jesus is the light and that he has come into this dark world. And part of Advent, part of anticipation, is this idea that Jesus is the light of the world, that he brings hope. In the old book by C.S. Lewis, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the story is told of Narnia, where it's always winter and never spring and never Christmas either. I think the line's never Christmas. And the White Witch has her spell on the land in such a way that it's always bleak, always cold. And then we're told at one point that Aslan is on the move. And Aslan is the god figure in the story. And as he begins to move, the snow begins to melt, the sun begins to shine, things begin to change. And Christmas, in many ways, is the account of saying Jesus or God is on the move. You may not sense or feel where darkness is being pushed back. In fact, you may feel like darkness is even grander than it has ever been. But today, as you consider what it is to hope for Christmas, remember that light has come into the world and darkness has not overcome it, that light shines into darkness. And in the C.S. Lewis version of Narnia, he at one point says, winter began stirring backwards. And Jesus' earthly ministry, the miracles, the healings, the raising of the dead, the forgiving of sins, were all to show the beginning signs of the kingdom that will one day be. And that, in a sense, Christmas reminds us that God is on the move and that things are changing in our world and toward the scope of God's great redemption of all things.
Thanks for joining us here today. There's a lot of great content to explore on Orchard Hill Plus and on the Orchard Hill main feed from the weekend. Have a great day.